Walnut is an undoubted benefit for the elderly. Walnuts are truly a gift of nature, a simple and healthy food with benefits that go far beyond a simple snack. But remember, balance is the key to success. Stick to the recommended portion. And always consult your doctor if you have allergies, chronic diseases, or are taking medications that may interact with certain nutrients. Let's explore this useful product. Walnut, Juglans regia, gets its name from the historical context and origin of the word juglans. In this case, it comes from the Latin word which means nut. The walnut itself was common in the Mediterranean, especially in Greece, and the southern regions of Europe, which were once called the walnut countries. Therefore, it was called walnut. Walnuts are a source of mainly vegetable fats, proteins, a small amount of carbohydrates, as well as dietary fiber, vitamins. Walnuts contain micro, macro elements and tannins. Walnuts contain fat-soluble vitamins A, E, as well as B vitamins, vitamin C, PP, K. Minerals are high in zinc and iodine. It is recommended to improve the functioning of the immune system, endocrine, gonads, thyroid gland. Useful for skin diseases. Iodine is especially abundant in walnut membranes, so you can make an infusion from them to improve thyroid function. Tannins have an anti-inflammatory effect. The infusion is useful for gargling in chronic diseases. Nuts are useful for diseases of the heart and blood vessels, as they contain a lot of potassium and magnesium. 100 g of raw walnuts contains proteins 15.2 g, fat 65.2 g, carbohydrates 13.7 g, water 4.07 g, fiber 6.7 g, sugar 2.61 g, calcium 98 mg, iron 2.91 mg, magnesium 158 mg, phosphorus 346 mg, potassium 441 mg, iron 2.6 mg, vitamin E 2.6 mg. One serving 28 g of walnuts contains 2.6 g of omega-3 and 10.8 g of omega-6. Walnuts, calorie content. Approximately per 100 g of product, 654 kilocalories and 2,740 kJ. The nut has a high energy value due to the large amount of fats. Therefore, it is recommended to consume in small quantities, 1 to 3 nuts per day. In terms of calorie content and protein content, walnuts are comparable to meat, only they are easier to digest. In terms of the number of vitamins, citrus fruits surpass. They are recommended for vitamin deficiency, iron deficiency as a general tonic. They have a positive effect on the vessels of the brain and relieve nervous tension. Walnut, benefits and medicinal properties. Improved memory. Nuts contain essential omega-3 and 6 fatty acids, which help improve memory and cognitive function. Prevention of depression. Studies have shown that low levels of omega-3s can damage a cheerful and alert mood. Since walnuts are high in omega-3s, they help prevent depression. Improvement of motor function. Omega-3 fatty acids, which work wonders for the brain, also improve motor function. Prevention of heart disease. Studies conducted in the United States, Australia, New Zealand, Spain, and Israel have concluded that 2 to 3 servings of walnuts per day lower cholesterol levels enough to reduce the risk of coronary heart disease. Maintaining the beauty of the skin. Eating walnuts helps the skin look younger, to be healthy and elastic. Thanks to vitamin E for this. By the way, walnut oil is a valuable cosmetic product for reducing dry skin. Walnuts are a source of biotin vitamin B7, which helps hair and nails stay healthy, as well as prevents hair loss and brittle nails. Vitamin E gives hair and nails a healthy shine. Help with weight management. Walnuts contain a large amount of fiber, proteins, and fats, which help you feel fuller for longer. Extra boost of energy. Walnuts contain many B vitamins, B1 0.39 mg, B5 0.82 mg, B6 0.8 mg, etc. They are able to increase the amount of energy in the body. This is definitely consistent with the weight management factor. When you are full of energy, you are more likely to start actively moving and burning calories. Try eating walnuts with natural yogurt regularly as a daytime snack or a light snack before exercising. Benefits of walnuts for men. The benefits of walnuts for men are that they help in the functioning of the reproductive system. It is especially useful to eat these nuts during the planning period of the child. Regular consumption of walnuts will help get the necessary energy. With prostatitis and other inflammatory processes of the genitourinary system, replenish the reserves of zinc, vitamins B, E, and potassium in the body, which are important for potency. Improve blood supply to the genitals. It is most useful to eat nuts raw. You can pass them through a meat grinder and mix with dried fruits. Benefits of walnuts for women. For women, the benefits of walnuts are that they have a positive effect on hormonal levels. Walnuts are recommended for those who have lost a lot of blood. There was an operation, heavy menstruation, or childbirth. Nuts are also useful for menstrual disorders and help with periodic pain. Walnut helps to normalize the functioning of the gonads. Many girls monitor their weight, so nutritionists recommend taking nuts for a snack, but not eating more than 2 of them at a time due to the high calorie content. During pregnancy, most women develop iron deficiency. Nuts in the diet in combination with red meat or egg dishes will help bring hemoglobin back to normal. Calcium and phosphorus in nuts are involved in the formation of the fetal skeleton. Magnesium in the composition will help to remove excess water from the body in the late stages so that there is no swelling, to reduce the tone of the uterus. It is better to find out whether walnuts can be eaten while breastfeeding from your doctor, since any nuts can cause severe allergies in a newborn. If walnuts can be introduced into the diet, then milk will be more nutritious, lactation will improve. Let's take a look at the peculiarities of nutrition. Nuts, especially when combined with fruits, berries, or dried fruits, are a versatile snack and a healthy, nutritious supplement. It can also be added to various dishes for those who adhere to a healthy diet, for example, beetroot salad with beets and prunes and walnuts. Harm of walnuts. Nuts should be limited in case of obesity due to high calorie content. Daily rate, 1 to 3 nuts, about 15 to 40 g. Nuts are a strong allergen. What is dangerous about walnuts is that they can cause an allergic reaction and anaphylactic shock. In the stage of exacerbation of diseases of the gastrointestinal tract, walnuts are also dangerous. In case of stomach ulcers, gastritis, pancreatitis, diarrhea, nuts are contraindicated. If you overeat nuts, it can cause disorders in the brain, liver, and kidneys. How to choose a good walnut. The shell of the nut should be light brown, wrinkled, but not spotted, without plaque and damage, and it should also be clean. Nuts must be dry, otherwise they will rot quickly. If you knock nuts against each other, the sound is sonorous. If not, the nut is spoiled. The kernel should not be oily on the surface. If there is oil, the nuts are old. If the large nut is too light, the kernel is most likely dried out. The more the nut is chopped, the worse its taste. Nuts should not have foreign odors. If you shake the nut, there should be no sounds. If this is not the case, the kernel is dry. When you buy packaged nuts in the store, inspect the packaging, expiration date, whether it is opened, whether there is condensation in it, whether there is debris in the pack or plaque on the kernels. How to store walnuts correctly. After purchase, the nuts need to be dried for a day. Put them on paper in 1 layer. If you plan to store nuts until the next season, you should still warm them up in a warm oven for an hour to get rid of moisture by 100% and avoid mold. It is better to store nuts in the shell in a cardboard box or rag bag at a temperature of up to 15 degrees. If the temperature rises, mold may appear. How to store shelled nuts. For 2 weeks, the nuts keep well at room temperature. They need to be taken out of a plastic bag so that they do not spoil there. If you put the nuts in an airtight glass package and put them in a dry, dark place, they will last for up to 2 months. In a glass-sealed container in the refrigerator, nuts are stored for up to 6 months, in the freezer in a plastic bag up to a year. Green nuts cannot be stored, but you can make jam or tincture for the winter from them. The benefits of walnut jam are slightly lower than those of fresh ones, since during cooking they are subjected to heat treatment and lose some of the nutrients. But jam is useful for people with heart, kidney, and liver problems, because the young peel of the nut contains a large amount of iodine. The main thing is not to make the jam too sweet. If you don't like sweets, you can prepare a tincture. The benefits of tincture on walnut partitions lie in tannins. The tincture can be drunk for colds, cardiovascular diseases and joint diseases, hypothyroidism. Recipes with walnuts. Walnuts with honey are a very tasty and nutritious delicacy. But the culinary benefits of walnuts also lie in exquisite combinations with dried fruits and vegetables. For cooking, take 100 g of walnuts, raisins, dried apricots, prunes, half a lemon and half a glass of honey. Rinse and dry all dried fruits and nuts. Put them in a blender, add a lemon cut into pieces and honey to them. Chop and mix. Store in the refrigerator, consume up to 3 teaspoons per day. Walnut paste. Pasta can be used as an ingredient for sauces or as an independent product. Bake 250 g of peeled and washed nuts in the oven at 200 degrees for 8 minutes. The main thing is that they do not burn, otherwise they will be bitter. Cool the nuts and peel the husks. Put the nuts in a blender, add 3 cloves of garlic, 2 tablespoons of walnut oil, 4 tablespoons of olive oil, grind into a paste. Such paste is stored in a glass container in the refrigerator for up to 6 months. Walnut tincture. Decoctions and infusions are made from walnut leaves, which contain a lot of tannins. Infusions and decoctions can be used to gargle with chronic tonsillitis, make foot baths for excessive sweating. To prepare the infusion, the flaps are poured with boiling water, covered with a lid and allowed to cool and infuse. Use warm. Another option is tincture of nut leaves on vodka. The flaps are poured with vodka, put in a dark cool place for 1 to 3 days, then take a teaspoon 1 to 3 times a day. The valves contain a lot of iodine. The recipe was popular with patients with thyroid diseases with iodine deficiency, but now there are special drugs. Now share with us, are walnuts already part of your diet, or are you planning to add them after learning about these amazing benefits? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more health and natural wellness tips. Thank you for watching and supporting the channel. See you.